Hey guys, it's me again, here to call on all my warriors to come on out and get yourself girded up and ready to help in this battle against terminal illness diagnoses, prognoses, and we're talking about cancer, sickle cell, mental illness, all kinds of things deemed terminal and chronic. We need you guys to come on out. We're talking about empathy, our empathy model. And today we're getting down to the A in our empathy model because empathy is an acronym. The first thing that we do with the family and the support team of the person who's been diagnosed is we exude empathetic mindset around them. So we need to make sure that they understand what it means to put themselves in another person's shoes. One thing that I'm going to say something several times in order to make sure that we get the point across properly, okay? So, and that's one of the first things we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we put ourselves, or at least try to put ourselves in another person's shoes. That's the biggest thing that we could do. Today we're going to focus on the A in our empathy model. And what the A in our empathy model stands for is for allowances of grief. There are many different ways that people grieve, okay? Some people grieve for a day. Some people grieve for a month. Some people grieve for a year. And there's other people that just never stop grieving. They have a perpetual state of grief in their lives in consideration of this loss that they have, and that's where grief generally comes from. It comes from a loss or some type of a separation. And the truth of the matter is, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's just a personal preference matter. But we have to allow people to grieve, okay? And they do it in a lot of different ways. But what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the 5 stages of grief, okay? The first stage in grief, okay, is denial. Denial is that stage where people say, the doctor says I have it, but I'm not claiming that. I'm not going to walk around and pretend like I have a certain amount of days left to live, because just yesterday I was doing fine. Before I even got a diagnosis, before I even got a prognosis, everything was wonderful. I was going to the park, I was jumping rope or riding my motorcycle, doing whatever it is just yesterday. And now, just because this doctor says something that's popped up, I have to take that as the gospel. Well, I'm not interested in that. So, with that being said, denial is one of the first stages of grief, okay? And I need you to really understand that these things happen either way, in order or out of order. And some people go through all 5 stages. And most people, they do kind of get around to all 5 of them. But it's not always the gospel that they have to do all 5, okay? After denial, then there comes anger. And anger is the one where the person who's been diagnosed is looking around and they're seeing all these other people out here who are living lives that's nowhere near as good as theirs. They're noticing that they've been trying to give themselves a life that God would be pleased with, and they get angry because why do I have this instead of that person over there who's a heathen or whatever they want to call them. Anger is very common. It's one that says that I'm not going to not only believe that I have this, but now I'm getting to a point to where I'm going from denying that I have it to being angry about the fact that I would be the one that would be afflicted with such a thing. Okay? After anger comes bargaining. Okay? And generally, bargaining works like, okay, God, if you'll let me out of this, I promise you I'm going to serve you for the rest of my days. I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to make sure you know that you are the healer of all healers. You're the king of all kings. And I'm trusting that you are going to do this for me this time. I know that I've not been living my life the way I probably could have, would have, should have. But, if you let me out of this one, God, I promise you, I'm going to start living for you more and more every day. Okay? So, first we go through denial, and then we come through anger, and then we come to bargaining, and then we come to the next one, which is super, super, super prevalent. It's depression. This is a monster. Depression shows its head in so many different ways that 1 minute that you'll know for a fact that you are deep in the throes of depression, and the next minute you'll feel like I'm not, but you're still displaying signs and stuff of depression. It just rears its head in so many different ways, and we have to be careful when a person is going through depression. Depressed people sometimes make snap decisions. They'll make some decisions that'll be detrimental to their own personal health and well-being. It's not that they're bad because they're going through depression. It's because they're in a place of perpetual unknowing, and for us that can be really hard to not know what's going on next. Okay. So depression is really big. It's really prevalent in the grief stages, and you have to allow people to kind of go through all of these stages. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to just stand by and just let a person be depressed for the rest of their lives, because the truth of the matter is, and you have to show this person, that's depressed. You have to show them that regardless of the situation and circumstance that's going on right now, if you would just peek outside of that window right there, you will still see birds are flying. You will still see lovers are walking hand in hand outside. You'll still see the balls bouncing at the park. You'll still see life going on. And that's just what it does. So what we want to do is we're going to help this person who is depressed to get from a place of depression into a place of living again. Okay? Now, a lot of times once we are able to usher a person from depression, it comes to the next step, which is acceptance. And this is the stage I think is one of those stages that's that relieves a lot of our stresses. It relieves a lot of our woe is me moments, and it relieves a lot of pressure to just kind of succumb to whatever's going on in our bodies. Okay, acceptance is a very important stage of depression, because it does allow us to do the other things that you're going to find that's coming next in our series, to help people that have been terminally diagnosed to prepare. Okay, so when I accept that this is my lot in life, now I get to choose what I want to do with it. Now I get to choose if I want to combat these things that are that's going on, or if I want to just continue to just live my life and just let the chips fall where they may. There's that old song, "Que sera, sera," whatever will be, and that's kind of the truth of it in most of the cases. But that's also where you go to live your best life. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. I'm going to trust you, God, is what I'm going to say to myself, I hope. I'm going to trust you, God, because I know that you said in your word, Romans 8:28, that all things work together for good, for those that love the Lord and are the called according to his purpose. Okay? So let's just keep our mind focused on allowing people to go through all the grief stages. Okay, first we went through denial, then we went through anger, then we went through bargaining, then we went through depression, and now we come to acceptance. Okay, once that person has come to a place of acceptance, it becomes a lot more of a fight for quality of life and a fight for joy to come in every aspect of their lives. You're gonna see them start wanting to take more trips. They're gonna want to just go abroad. They're gonna jump out of airplanes now and all those things that's been on their bucket list, but they've come to the point to where I know that I don't have much time left. So let's go ahead and just enjoy the rest of this life the way that we have. And a lot of times, that's when the other part of the changes occur. You've heard me say it many times before. There's a direct correlation between your mental and your spiritual health to your actual physical health. Okay, so when I get to a place of acceptance, I can know that what's going to be is going to be, and this is what I'm going to do to combat it. I'm going to fight my best fight. I'm going to shoot my best shot, and then I'm going to look forward to whatever God has next for me. Okay, I want to make sure that you always understand. This is the same thing I tell you every time. I am going to continue to pray that God continues to richly bless you and yours. And I want you to learn to love, okay? Allow folks to grieve. It's part of the normal process. But I also want you to know that one of my favorite scriptures, and you've heard me say this before, says, whatsoever things are lovely, and whatsoever things are true, and whatsoever things are just, if there be any good rapport, just think on these things, okay? This is what I want you to do. As you're helping your loved one go through this weird stage in their lives, allow them to grieve and plant those things that are just really the good thoughts into their spirit. Whatsoever things are true, and whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are just, you just want to start planting those things in this person's mind. And now the focus is not even on what's going on in this thing that's not even intended to be here that long. You're talking about less than 100 years for this thing, but in eternity, after this. So when you consider it that way, it makes it really a lot more plausible for you to accept whatever the demise is and then start learning how to live life. Can't say it anymore, but please just do me a favor. If you like the content, like it, subscribe, and push the notification button at the bottom. I would really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and then push the notification bell. Whenever we have new releases, you'll be one of the first ones to know that we're doing that. And I'm so happy that we are growing every day and that we are helping so many people. Okay, God bless you. Hope you're having a great day.